Welcome, Mark. How are we doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I put my new shirt on. Well, it's not new,
Yeah,
but
it's nice.
I don't think I've ever worn it. I might have worn it once,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. This is
Can you
this
see
is
me
it.
proper? Can you see me properly? Because on my top screen, I've got a blank thing that runs black that runs across the top of my screen.
No,
So
no, I can't
no,
see it. No, I can see
but
you.
you
You're
can see me
perfect.
fine. Maybe I
Yeah,
said this last time I were on your show.
yeah. Maybe. No, it's good. It's all good. No, it's good.
Good.
This is hemp. I'd advise anybody like on eBay. There's a woman that comes from Nepal. I think she's Nepalese, but it's hemp and it's beautiful when you put it on. You know that feeling,
Yeah.
the
Healthy for your
frequency.
body as well.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
like
yeah,
all the viscose crap and all that. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
This apparently is cotton.
yeah. Apparently. So yeah, so we're going to talk about the spirit world today. Um, yeah, I'm going to be doing more episodes on my channel and more interviews. I'm gonna, yeah, yeah. So let's get started. Tell people what you perceive the spirit world to be like, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's a great question. My home world, I believe there's many home worlds, but my home world is a place of heightened awareness. It reminds me of an ocean from a film that I once watched with Jodie Foster in, and it was called Contact. And she she went to this other world, and everything that you saw was very, very similar to that particular part of the film when her father comes and she said, "You're not my father, are you?" And he said, "No, I'm not," even though he looked like the father. So he could change his appearance just to make her feel comfortable. And they had a chat about, where they're from and who they are. And, it's very similar to that. That was the closest thing that I ever saw on TV that was similar. So the ocean itself, to me, is who we are before we come here. And every single drop of that ocean goes into these bodies or the bodies of wherever we are in the universe, in this cosmos. I believe there's far more places than just this place. So we have this ability, this connection, this. I don't know whether it's an agreement with the cosmos, with the universe, with God, but that we can singularly come into a body and experience that experience. And through the experiences, when we go home and back into the ocean, we have now given the ocean more experience to what we have felt, how we've behaved, what we've been through, so that that ocean can absorb that and grow exponentially in an energy which is, for me, more understanding of the experience. So do I believe that the spirit world walk around and just are like here? To one level, yes, they are. So each drop of the ocean that comes here, whether it's in the bodysuit or whether it's just in the world that we cannot see, which they vibrate at a different frequency, they are around, and they're the ones that we say, "Oh, I've just felt my mummy, or I just felt my dad, or I just smelt something that reminds me of somebody." Or, my God, I didn't go down that path, and I thank God I didn't, because I would have got mugged. And the spirit world that come from this big ocean come here to guide us. Now, some people believe that we're signed to angels or guides or whatever you want to call them. I've never felt that. I've never felt a guide be by my side when I'm meditating or doing my healing work. So I have a different take on a lot of spiritual communities, but that's just the way I see it. I don't read books and regurgitate the same information. I just say, well, whenever I work and I'm doing a healing work on a client, and all of a sudden I feel like a family member come through, the person lying down, and then they'll confirm that and say, "I'm sure somebody was here. I could feel them, and it felt like my grandma." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was your grandma. That's the feeling I was being given to say that it's your grandma is here." Or I could be given a healing session, and then I can feel Shirley, Brian, Penelope, or my mum, or Layla's grandma comes through sometimes. A friend of mine from the Pure Energy Healing Academy. So it's like it's not all cut and dry. Like I think you've got two angels protecting you all the time, but I think that the spirit world, are observing us to as far as our spiritual path allows. So I don't think that they can stop us from dying. If we're going to go, we're going to go. Whether it's a certain point in our life when we go and when we don't is, debatable. But I do believe that nothing is set in stone. And I think that makes more sense to me than saying it's A, B, C. I don't believe that. So the spirit world doesn't die. We don't die. You don't die. You won't die. Your bodysuit is just a spacesuit, like an astronaut spacesuit. You take it off and then you're back home. Same with it. Same. So that's really it. The spirit world is non-evasive. It doesn't force. It doesn't push. It sometimes will, depending on how we are feeling in our spacesuit, if it's connected or not, then we feel them. So a lot of the times we don't, because our body's being hijacked by a super devious, powerful lot of thugs and who are manipulated by darkness, because light and dark is in this world. A lot of dark people are in this world and a lot of light people are in this world. But the light people from who I come from, the home world that I call our spirit world, that ocean of pure love. And I guess the best way to put it really is, it really is very similar to an experience, because a lot of people say we're just here and we're just feeding monsters. I don't see that every day. I do see it more and more. I see more evil taking place, but I also see a lot of light all the time. So I see there's a balance, the yin and yang, light and dark. So that's it really. It's not super explosive what I'm saying. It just seems very normal to me. And there's so many different worlds in this world. There's spirit trapped in between two worlds. There's dark energies. There's entities. There's demonic energies. There's all sorts going on all the time around us. So it's simple, but then again, there's a lot going on.
Mm. There's a lot of different levels to it. There's different frequencies, isn't there? I think there's different frequencies, like you said about the radio, about tuning into radio. It's like that film. It's like that film. Different analogy, a movie analogy. The film The Others, where there'll be a house in the middle of a field, and one scene was Nicole Kidman and a few others there. But then when they changed, what was it? They changed time or frequency or something. The house was empty. That's kind of what it's interesting. Yeah,
absolutely. I don't think everything's set in stone. I don't think we know. I think science knows nothing. I think it's only barely touching what we used to know that's been burnt and taken away from us. I think there's a lot of things that we don't know. I think we're a young species again because we were burnt a long time ago. Oh yeah.
Like I said about the I'll share it in a little bit. All the fires towards the end, but there's also Chris. Well, I'll go on this one. I've been noticing recently a lot of syncs with certain people. Like you'll look at your phone or think about somebody, and your phone will ring. And I think that's what I think. I watched Crow's live stream the other night, and he's talking about the binary sun. There's possibly a binary sun behind our sun. And now when this sun gets closer to us, our consciousness worldwide increases. And I think all these things might be part of that. Do you know what I mean? It's quite interesting.
I don't know about that, but I
Mm.
do know that the sun plays an awfully important part on our connection between our consciousness and our spacesuit. The spacesuit is made for the sun, so without the sun, we're dead. Without the sun, flowers and plants are dead. So the sun obviously creates a frequency and energy that is like our life force, our battery. So if that heightens the battery of the spacesuit and clears and cleanses and detoxes it and strengthens it, then our connection to our consciousness come together beautifully, and then we feel and see more, and we become who we were meant to be, which I believe is more psychic, more intuitive, and we're able to communicate via the pineal gland or whatever mode you're in. But I do believe that wholeheartedly that we can connect to each other if we speak inside and we talk to each other, and sometimes we have that gift and that power to think about somebody and then they ring us up, and I don't think it's a case of coincidence. I don't think it's a case of the sun, or I think it's a case of communication without words. It's a very powerful energy, telepathy. And you can imagine, right? The last thing darkness wants is for us to talk to each other via telepathy, because they want to steal our thoughts. They want to know everything about us. So it makes sense that darkness is trying to dumb us down all the time. But there was something that I found fascinating years ago, and I heard the story from a shaman who said that at one time there wasn't a moon, and when the moon wasn't here, people were able to communicate via telepathy. That was their main form of communication. Soon as the moon came, it disrupted everybody's communication, and the winds came, and the seas became violent, and that kind of makes sense to me. And I think we've lost that communication via the moon, I believe wholeheartedly. People pray to it, but I think it's a disruptor. And that would be that would be my feeling. And not just that, it causes more issues to parasites. It does so much. It causes issues to the pull of the tide. What's it doing to our body? What's it pulling? And it's like, this isn't natural. And people say, well, we need cycles. I'm not so sure that we had cycles before. I think we were very, very much calm and communicated in a loving way, and then we were disrupted. And I think there's a lot of things on this planet and this solar system that isn't natural, and I think we'll start to figure that out maybe in a few hundred years.
Yeah, it's interesting about the moon because last night was the wolf full moon, the wolf full moon,
Yeah,
and
I struggle with it.
yeah, well, today I woke up. I went to bed fairly early last night. Watched the Hunger Games, the new Hunger Games movie. All I got
I
from that
don't know.
was orphans, delivery by drones, humans killing each other, and I just
Yeah,
there's a total
it's
pro.
it, it's pre-programmed just to
Yeah,
tell us what they're doing
yeah,
because they have to.
yeah. But like I said about the moon, I agree. I think it's not a positive force in our world. The moon.
Not for people like you and not for people like me, but for many
Mm.
other people.
Mm.
They may have come from a different place in the world, in this cosmos, and they might feel okay with it. But I know it's not my energy. For sure, it's not.
Yeah. Because today I woke up and I just could hardly move. Was sluggish all day. Took me a long time to get going. No, normally a full moon won't do that to me. Or it's strange. Like different full moons have different effects almost. That's what I'm starting to
Yeah,
find.
true. And if you're very sensitive, you'll pick up on certain things. So when I'm extremely sensitive, I pick up on so much,
Yeah,
even if it's slight.
yeah.
So
Well,
I'm like, okay,
you talked about water earlier on about water, and that's a huge part of consciousness, I think, because water has memory. And even like the day the Queen died, I was in work and I was in work. I was mithered. I was like, oh, something's not right today. I can feel something's not right. I felt uneasy. I did. I felt uneasy.
yeah.
Strongest I ever felt that like that. And then so was my mates of the Queen's dead, and I was like, that's it. You can
Mhm.
pick up on the population's consciousness. So
Of course you can.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And you can actually pick up more on the negative than the positive, which is kind
Mm,
of interesting.
yeah, it's nuts. But like, have you seen the video of the star? Somebody zooms into a star with a really high powered Nikon camera or something like that, and the star looks like a water molecule. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yeah. Vibrates at a water molecule.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Well, what do
Sound
you
and
think?
frequency.
What do you think about that? I don't know
I have
what to
no
think
idea.
about it. Yeah, it's
I
tricky.
don't know. I don't think about things like that too much. I'm more interested in the here and now and what I
Mm,
can do to make a difference in the world. And if there's anything that I've learned through the experience of healing and helping others, that's what I'm interested in. That we can just go so deep into so many things, and then you realize, what did you actually, what have you,
mm,
what have you done? What have you've learned, which is fair enough, but what are you going to do with that? Most people just, it's input, 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 but then nothing's done. And I
mm.
see a world of just input and no creativity. Nobody's doing anything hardly. So I think there's a fine line between learning something and learning too much, because you become addicted to learning. And before you know it, all it is just learning when you're actually meant to be creating.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, it's interesting. But well, so I was where where do you think imagination comes from? Like some people, I'm quite creative. I always want.
Imagination is the
I think it's something that we. Sorry, I think it's something that we have and they don't. Do you know what I mean?
well, I'm not so sure about that. I've heard it before. I think, a few people have said that, and I kind of agree by what I see. They're more a destroyer rather than a creator for sure, because that's their energy, that's their buzz, to destroy, to burn, to hurt, to it's like the bully in the playground. But it's fascinating because I this idea of imagination is a hijack, and it's a hijack because it's the vital point of true connection, and the connection, I believe, is the spirit world. So I say that creativity and imagination is the key to the doorway to the spirit world. So when you find that the darkness is trying to suppress that, it will say, "Oh my God, he's got such a vivid imagination." It's on a downer straight away to pull you down so you don't go there. You don't hear this, "What a beautiful imagination." You don't often hear that. You normally say, "Oh my God, what a freaking imagination that person's got," as if it's a negative.
Mm,
And
yeah,
actually, that's done deliberately. And it's done at schools. It's done at, imagination is just woo woo. It's stupid. It doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. And that is to pull you away from your actual connection to your consciousness. So the imagination is basically a key that opens the door inside you to your connection to your home world, that it gives you an unlimited amount of information. And that's why you get these wonderful ideas. Well, that comes from the ocean where you come from. So you imagine a gazillion drops of water being in these spacesuits all over the universe, going back into that consciousness, you connect into that consciousness, and now you've got all this information at your disposal. Well, darkness knows this, and they're going to stop you from getting there. So now it makes sense to stop you from connecting. So they'll start attacking. Oh, what an imagination. Oh my God. What a vivid imagination he's got. Right.
yeah,
Makes sense now.
yeah.
So when I used to teach people how to connect, I used to say, you need to take away this notion of imagination being a negative. It's the most powerful energy that you have to create the abundance that you want, the dreams that you want. You need to go into your imagination, because imagination is just a word. It basically is the connecting to your home world.
Yeah, and for sure. It's an interesting subject, like home worlds, where we come from, or they say each one of us is a fragment of our soul here to experience this world. But I wonder if it's a fragment of our soul, if we're here as a fragment of our soul, where's the rest of our soul, or are we all part of a
I
conscious
have no idea.
largest?
I don't know what that actually means. When I
Mm,
speak about our spirit or soul or consciousness, I talk about a single drop, and that is my personal experience. Sometimes we'll connect to somebody else and feel such a connection, and we might say, "Oh, it's my soulmate." What it is you are recognizing who you are part of, but you are a singular and I'm a singular until we go back into the home pool, the home ocean. So that's all I see it as. So sometimes people will get confused and say, oh, it's my soulmate. We've been here before. We need to come together again. And I'm like, be careful. I've never seen a pair of soulmates, survive in this world. And maybe you just know each other from your home world and you are now feeling that connection. Most people don't because they're nil and void of that connection, but some people do, and it might be really strong. And then you start to look at, oh, it's my soulmate, and this is all written down. And this can have a negative effect on people as well, because then they believe after they've split up, how can I split up with my soulmate? Now I'll never meet anybody. And it's an actual negative. So I
mm.
say, it might not be your soulmate. It might be just a feeling that you've got that you recognize this other person from in yourself. So, oh, it feels like me. Yeah, because we come from the same place. But when we come out of the ocean, we're an individual experience.
Mm.
Does
I
that make
totally,
any sense?
yeah, mate. Do you know what? I had that experience exactly what you just said. Yeah, just totally like, and I know what I know, I recognize what you're saying. Yeah, totally. And it's like I thought that we talked about it. Like it's like we didn't say soulmate, but you, it's like you're from the same place. It's like you already know each other a long time ago or somewhere else. That's
Yeah, yeah. You're putting words into it. You're saying a long time ago, but maybe you
mm,
know it. You just know each other.
yeah.
Maybe
Not
we
even
just
yeah,
know each other.
yeah, yeah,
That's it. We,
yeah.
we are one when we're at home, but we are singular. So, this actually kind of is interesting because when I sit down and ask the spirit world, well, what does that mean? Why is it that we can only feel one person out of a blue moon? And they say, and when I asked, I got a little bit of a download, and it's never as simple as what you think. So the first thing I remember getting was it showed me many different worlds. So as I said, because I see in pictures, I see in jigsaw pictures trying to put it together. And then I saw my home world in two drops of water splitting. And I'm like, oh, okay, two drops of water splitting. So maybe we come from the same ocean, but then again, there are many different oceans. So, that kind of makes sense to me. So you'll meet tons of people, but they come from other worlds. So you don't have that connection with them. But they also showed me a disconnect in the spacesuit, which means that some people, even if you do meet somebody from your home world, if your spacesuit's messed up and you're not connected, you won't have that feeling. So everybody wants one answer, but maybe there's bloody millions of answers.
Yeah. No, it's not binary. It's many. What's it? Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's like people come into your lives, even in this journey. We're 5 years into this since 2020. Can you believe we're 5 years into this and they're still doing what they're doing? And but it's like even on this journey, quite a lot of people. I think a lot of us with a high level of consciousness, people come and go in your journey. Like people, you'll be really good friends, and they'll just disappear and go off and do their own thing. And I've kind of accepted that. I think it's not many, but you get friends that come and go sort of thing.
Do
It's
you,
great.
do you know why that is?
No, sorry, no.
Do you know why they come and go?
Quite.
Because they're meant to, because they're
Yeah, they're
meant
meant to.
to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I've accepted. Yeah.
What once you figure that out, you realize that and then you don't hurt yourself and you don't beat yourself up. It's like we come together for a certain reason. Once that's reasons has been done, whether it's their side or your side or both, once that's done, you're meant to go, and then you grow. Or you go in a different direction, just like partnerships, just like relationships. And people fight all their life and hold on to bitterness And when they get home, they'll realize, shit, what a mistake did I make? Why didn't I figure out that it was our time and maybe we made an agreement, maybe not, but maybe we made an agreement to be together for a certain time for a certain reason. It could be to have a child. It could be just to grow in a certain direction or to take you in a certain direction, which you wouldn't have done yourself. So you might you meet a girl. Oh, I've always wanted to live in Africa. Really? Yeah. Can we go? Okay, then. So she takes you to Africa, you split up, and then all of a sudden you're in Africa, she goes, and all of a sudden you meet somebody else and you think, oh my God, I've met this beautiful woman. Now you can either hold on to the suffering of this woman who's left you or embrace the fact that she brought you here for a reason for this beautiful woman. And a lot of women and men will reject what they were deliberately brought to a place to experience and suffer all the pain of this instead of realizing, shit, I was brought here for this reason. So let go of your past and embrace the future and everything that comes. That's how I see it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that's that's what I kind of thought as well. You have to people just come and go, and that's just the way it is. They're meant to as well. It's a journey. It's interesting. It's yeah. Well, yeah. Did you want to talk about anything else as well? I'm sort of yeah. I was gonna. I thought, well, oh yeah, actually, that's a good question. I just remembered it. I was gonna write down a list of questions, and I found a list of old questions I had for you from the previous show. But these select people, this evil group of people in the world, right, who wear small hats. We don't say the names, but which I think these people are wired differently. This breed of people, like there's a select people. Where do you think how do they relate to the spiritual world? Where do they come from or not come from? But I've been trying to think about it more. I've been trying to think about where they come from. I found the Shinto people in Japan. The Shinto religion is a religion in Japan. They live in the mountains. They're quite spiritual, like Buddhists, but a bit different. But they have stories of this group of people called the Tengu. You know about the Tengu? No.
I've heard of it, many years ago, but I can't. I remember reading up on it, years ago.
Shall I put it on screen? We can talk about it. I've got it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's quite an interesting subject.
Yeah.
Because I'll just grab it here. Just a second. There we go. Slideshow. Yeah, it's quite interesting though because
they're not religious. It's not a religion, is it? If I remember rightly, it's just a way of life.
Yeah, it's a way. Yeah, it's not a religion. Yeah. Just one sec. I've got to sort out my screens here. They've.
Well, when you do that, let me just tell the audience what I feel about. There's light and dark in the world, and these suits that we are born into. It's not just a world or a cosmos just for good souls. It's free for all. Anybody can come into these spacesuits, and that's why sometimes you can meet somebody and you say they're nothing like me, and a lot of humanity scratch their heads and say, how can that person do such a thing? And the reason why they can do such a thing, and the reason why you can't understand that they would do such a thing, is because they're not like you. They look at you and try and understand how you can't do what they do. So a paedophile will look at you and think there's something wrong with you, not understanding that they enjoy raping children. And you go, are you sick? Are you mad? No, he's not sick. He's just a different energy. He comes from a different place, which is used to that form of abuse. So that's how I see it. And it's not just one set of bad spirits or bad souls. There are many, and there are different levels as well. So you can meet somebody who is very manipulating, and you think, oh, he seems really nice. So and then he'll do something awful to you. And then you'll meet somebody and you'll feel really cold, and you'll think this person is a murderer or a rapist, and this person would easily kill you. If you attune to energy, you'll attune to their consciousness. That's why energy doesn't lie. So when you meet these monsters, you can feel them. You can feel that this isn't like me. This is something that we need to get away from. So that's how I see it.
It's like that saying, no, it doesn't happen often, but like you're at a friend's house and you walk in the kitchen and your friend, say the dad and his wife, the mum, are in the room, and you walk in the room and you feel like you could cut the air with a knife. Like it's that energy. When maybe they just had an argument, but that's the energy you can feel sometimes. It's also. So I've got this here now. I've got it ready now. Um,
I mean, if you've ever met somebody who was a cold blooded murderer who wouldn't think twice, you'll realize very quickly that they're nothing like us. So it's something. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember
I
this.
put this together. So yeah, my screens are going a bit weird. Yeah, so the origin of the Japanese Tengu since ancient times, many legends surround the Tengu, and its true origin remains a mystery. The creature is
So
believed to have roots in Chinese folktale introduced to Japan. Tengu is derived from Tiangu, a mountain-dwelling yokai with a dog-like appearance. Tiangu, often associated with a meteorite,
yeah,
fell from the sky like a shooting star. I think that's really interesting, that part.
it is.
Like I talk about this infection in our world, this group of people that just don't think like us,
Yeah.
and they're not like us, are they? So we'll go on again. They it goes back to the 11th and 12th century. They say myths, not really myths because people still talk about them, but they also wear this black box on their forehead. And this
Yes.
group of people, it's called a tefillin.
Mm.
And I did with them. I discovered them a couple of years ago. These people through Max Eigen, but I did some more research into it just a couple of days ago, and the amount of similarities that there are between the religions. The temples are the same, the practices are the same as this group of people in. It's really
Yeah.
interesting, but yeah. Well, there's a couple one more
The black,
slide.
the black, the black, the black, the black box that they walk around. When they walk around,
Mm.
is it Mecca? When they walk around,
Yeah,
they get
Mecca.
to the
Yeah. The
center.
cube. Yeah,
When they get to that black box, the cube, they kiss the stone, and the stone is the meteorite, and
yeah,
that's called tektite.
yeah. I've heard about this, and also it's kind of strange. I think, isn't it, that when they all walk around it, it's quite mesmerizing, quite strange. But right, we're back. So yeah, I just want to say as well, guys, I'm actually working on my boat at the moment, so don't mind. This is actually wood filler up here, and there's some shelves being built here. So sorry about the temporary mess,
Oh, it's
but
great
yeah,
job, mate.
yeah, it's crazy working in a boat. I think that would take you a couple hours in the house, takes you all day in a boat. It's nuts. But yeah, I was going to say something actually. Talk about something.
You're going to get a lot of people saying you've got an X there, skull and bones, and
Yeah, it's
you're
pirate.
obviously you're obviously part of the. He's taking them. He's done that deliberately. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, no. What do you think? What do you think about just not that? I haven't got any 33s anywhere though. But what do you think about the fires in LA?
I think they're all by design. I know it's
Yeah.
awful to say it, but I don't believe anything anymore. And I said to everybody on one of my podcasts, everything that happens in 2025 is all by design. So anything there is nothing that Mother Nature is creating. It's all by design. So whether you think it's started by fire, whether you think it's being started by a smart meter, whether you think you're started by lasers, all of the above is for me, yeah, most likely. If you think it's Mother Nature doing it, and because they haven't cleaned the floors, no, that's probably how they got away with it. They didn't clean the floors because they knew what they were going to do. So that's a great excuse. Everything, guys, they plan this out so meticulously that every move they make, they know exactly what they're doing, and they're using government and politicians as pawns, whether they know it or not. It's just a big game, and at the end of the day, it's we ran out of water. Oh, it's because of him, and we all sack him, and everybody's happy. Oh, okay, now it's ended, but then the damage is done, and that's how they get away with it.
Yeah. So do you know, it's exactly one of my viewers, Emma, give a shout out. She did some great research about Do you know who the biggest buyer of sulfuric acid is in the world? Biggest buyer, the Department of Defense in America. Right? She did great research, and if it's do you remember the fog just before the fires? The
Oh
fog.
yeah, I made a
If
video about it. Yeah.
yeah. They if you spray if you use sulfuric acid as an aerosol, a lot of geese died as well. About 300 geese died as well because they fly higher, and all this acid can lie in the air, and it can lay in. If you add water to sulfuric acid, it'll cause a fire. That's very
Mhm.
interesting. But yeah, I think, like you say, I think the amount of stuff going on in the world right now, it's like a movie. It's like a movie. I said to my mate, but what you said earlier, I said to my mate about imagine there was no TV or radio. Imagine how much everybody would be living in the moment.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
massive statement. I imagine there's no TV or radio anymore. You
Mm.
know, be mad.
But you know what? What I was just thinking just then, it's like you know, everything that I said about bad people being bad souls, you know, it makes sense. There's a lot of bad souls in this world. There's a lot of good souls, and there's a spiritual battle that's taking place, and that spiritual battle always leads to destruction. It always leads to chaos. It always why doesn't it lead to more creation and more health and more well-being? You know, it's all about destroying and it's all about taking control. And everything that's happened up to this moment, it's been absolutely right in your face to tell you that the noose is tightening. They're getting exactly what they want. You've got your heroes like Musk that everybody bows down to, and you all think is wonderful, and he's laughing at you. He's absolutely laughing at you, wearing his Marcus Aurelius, outfits,
But I mean,
just like what's his name, the crazy nutter who wants you to eat bugs,
the Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab.
anal swab. Yeah, all of these, they're all playing a role, they're all playing a part, and basically, yeah. I mean, he wants to help people and put a chip in their brain because there's people out there who need a chip in their brain. Okay, how many people need a chip in their brain? 2%. Oh, so you're building a company knowing that there's only 2% of people in the world who need this. Well, that makes perfect business sense.
I totally.
It's all
It's
bollocks, all
yeah.
bollocks. These people know exactly what they're doing, and they're
While
laughing at us.
on I think it was Saturday evening during the night because I looked into this, when all this they're trying to get us to focus on the fires, and it is bad. It's not good, but I realized what else is happening. This has always happened. They want you to focus on this. I looked at it from Reuters. Um, Reuters, the US and the Britain and France and Israel all collectively bombed Sana'a, the capital of Yemen. So they took out over 200 targets. It's a beautiful old world city as well, beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just this. It's nuts how much darkness is coming up to the. Everybody can see it now. You got to be mad. Whoever believes like,
Disconnected.
oh really?
You've got to be, no, I'm saying you've got to be
Oh, sorry.
disconnected
I thought you
consciously.
said,
Like you say, everybody's got to know now. Well, that's if you're disconnected, you're disconnected. It's not about knowing. It's not about seeing it. It's about feeling it. And I'm sorry, but lots of people queued up and they'll queue up again if they're told to have another jab. And it really is that simple. Some people are just connected to their consciousness and just know in their gut or their intuition will just tell them something's bullshit here. And when you're a kid, you either get fooled as a kid, or you're street smart. Basically, you're connected or you're not. And most kids are not connected. Most adults just don't see anything. They just, because then I don't think they were meant to
yeah.
when they came here. I
Do
don't
you know?
think they were,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you know what I saw the other day? Just I think it was yesterday. Actually, yesterday morning. I think it was yesterday morning. I was driving along the street along the beach road where I am, and there was a mum pushing a toddler, young toddler girl, and I was just driving past, and I see that the toddler was just like staring at the sky, And I was like, I think children are a lot more connected to they have a lot, they're more connected to, what's the word, spirit world, actually, in a
Nice.
way, before
It's
they're
true.
programmed in school. They're sat
Exactly.
down.
That's actually
Every,
correct.
yeah, it's like when the bell rings in school. It's fascinating. It's from Rockefellers. When the bell rings in school, you automatically have to drop everything. So if you're doing something really creative in school, as soon as that
Yeah.
bell goes, stop, go to the next class.
It's a hypnosis.
Yeah, programming.
It's a
Yeah,
form of hypnosis. Yeah,
yeah,
programming. Yeah.
yeah,
It is. It's incredible
yeah,
how they program us to not be attuned. That's why they don't want meditation in schools. That's why they don't want healing in schools. That's why they don't want creativity in schools. They just want you to absorb and become a robot. That's it. That's all they
yeah.
want. And there's some great teachers out there who see through it and they're frustrated and leave their jobs, just like nurses. Some nurses want to help people and they see the evil within it and they want to leave or they want to try and change it, which they can, and then they get fired, and just that's the way it is. Some of us see through all of this bullshit and a lot of us don't.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think like what they're doing, what they are doing with LA as well. Just going back to LA, I don't like Maui, Hawaii. That was terrible what they did there, but I don't think they're going to get away with this thing in LA. It's too big, too many. It's too. They've done too much this time. I think.
I'll tell you what, I'll bet you £1,000 now that life will continue
Mm,
and they'll continue doing what they're doing, and you will keep saying they're not going to get away with this, they're not going to get away with this, and
mm.
I'll bet you any money they'll get away with it. I'll bet you 1,000 now. You just said they won't get away with it. Tell me what they're not going to get away with.
Yeah,
Honestly, mate,
that's a. I believe you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You are right.
they've got
Um,
away with everything up till now, and they'll continue getting away with it, and they know it.
yeah, yeah. No,
It's awful to say, but
yeah,
you're better off being grounded in that. And if you know that, then you're going to sort yourself out. You're going to look after yourself. You're going to protect yourself. You're going to protect your friends and your family. And that's all you can do, because this shit show won't stop, because not everybody will get up off their knees. We've had this time and time again. Look what happened to everybody who injected themselves. Oh, but it won't happen again. It's happening today.
mm.
It's happening every
Oh,
moment. There's always
Ozempic.
another something.
Yeah, Ozempic, that new drug, the weight loss
It,
drug.
it it doesn't matter. It's always something else.
Yeah, yeah,
It's to
yeah,
fool the herd, and it fools people all the time. I've got
yeah,
friends who just think I'm crazy, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, I get it. There's nothing I can do to help you, pal.
yeah, yeah. No,
And
for
they're
sure.
sick now. They're all sick. They're all sick. A lot of my friends who think I'm crazy, I'm like, so you've got permanent tinnitus now. One of my mates in the UK. My other mate is now going to the doctors all the time because his heart's messed up. Another mate can't walk properly because he's got inflammation on his feet all the time. These are my three mates who took all the jabs. And I said to them the other night, I said, do you know, I've never felt healthier in my life. I wonder why that is.
Mm. Just want to point out as well, these are very safe and effective. And anybody wants some research or information, they can go to the WHO and have a little look there. But they are very safe and effective, like everything the US, sponsored by the US government, is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's good.
love government.
It's good to give some context. That's the new community guideline rules. Is
Yeah,
yeah,
we love the government.
yeah,
We love Klaus
yeah.
Schwab.
Just
We love everything that they do.
yeah, it's funny. It makes me laugh when we watch your videos. I love it. It's so funny, right? You'll be sitting down. I know exactly what you're talking about as well. I'll be at the beach and people will be walking the dog, and I'm parked in the middle of nowhere. No one has to come near me, right? And I'll get somebody just walking like almost right up to my door, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I just laugh. I'm like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
recording a video or something.
So there's a couple of three explanations of that, and one is the explanation of the fact that you vibrate such a high frequency that people are drawn to you
Yeah,
like
I
a
get you.
light.
Yeah.
Moth to a light, right? I get that to a degree because the lady down the road said to me, yes, 2 days ago, she's Spanish. She says, every time you walk in here, she said, the place is full, gets full up within 10 minutes. And I've never said anything to her. And I used to say it when I were here, people used to say to me, will you come into my shop? And I go, why? Because when you come in, it's packed. Right. And I used to laugh, and now I realize there is truth in that. But what I find most fascinating, Rob, is not that. It's when you are about to talk about something that is profound to a lot of people, to share something that's really powerful, that darkness brings forward a lot of people to stop you. They don't even know what they're doing. And now people get very upset with that and say, oh, you're just in a cafe. What the bloody hell do you expect? And I'll say, well, I actually go out into gardens and go places, and then they all end up. I was in Bali in Maya Hotel, and I walked into a space right far away, and I said, listen, guys, watch what happens next. Nobody's here, right? And then I said, okay, welcome everybody. We're going to talk about this subject. And all of a sudden there was like 30 people all turned up, all next to me, coming past me. And everybody watched that and said, wow, this is definitely a phenomena. And it is. So that darkness is always working to stop us from sharing truth. And, it's fascinating subject though.
It is. No, I love it because, I've watched you do it. You'd be like, you just get somebody like just traipsing around in front of you, like, what are you doing?
Just
Like,
looking at you like the zombies, and it's like you smile and they're just looking at you. They just stood there, and people say to me, "Oh, aren't you cruel?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not cruel at all. I'm just showing you what's going on in real time." This person from nowhere just ends up next to you, looking at you to stop you from talking about what you know, and that's not ego. It's not like I'm important. It happens to tons of people every day. It happens to you when you're about to do something wonderful, when you're about to create something wonderful. Somebody will step in, whether it's just next to you or whether they come into your life and stop you from moving forward. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's like this little NPC thing, or like,
yeah,
what do
it
we live in,
is.
etc., etc. You get
And
lost.
we
Like,
can be like that. Even we can be pulled into it if we're not vibrating at a good frequency. Something can enter into us and manipulate us. So it's free for all, So that's why you have to be strong, happy, look after yourself, try and be as happy as you can, and that means that your life force protects you, and that's why it's important to eat healthy.
yeah, for sure. No, for sure. No, definitely. It's like so talking about eating healthy, we can talk a little bit about health actually going forward. But like all the chickens in the UK, 90% of chickens in the supermarket, 90% of chickens in the supermarket are Franco chickens. They're killed at
Inject
45
them.
days, 45 days old.
They inject them
Yeah.
with hormones.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
the injection itself apparently.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that as well.
And
So
yeah.
try and go to a local farm. Try and eat at a local farm. Try and stay away from the shops because they're all hijacked now.
Yeah, I just find where I live that there's a little butchers that I didn't really know about, and I drove past it the other day, and they've got fresh, large, organic double yokers, and when you can see like an awake butchers, or they know what's going on. They're brilliant, actually, really good shop, and there is a lot to be said for that. Even when I was in Turkey last year, like my health, my eyes, all the grounding I was doing, grounding I think is especially important, like especially in the sea, in good clean seawater. I was swimming twice a day out there. I looked at a photo of me when I was out there towards the end of my stay after 3 months of swimming twice a day, not showering. I used to swim in the water in the morning, just let dry off. When I got home, I cover myself in coconut oil with oregano and wormwood every day, twice a day. Swim twice a day, do that twice a day, and the power of doing that, eating good food, fresh produce from the farmers market out there, the bazaar, and the combination of grounding in the sea, the difference in my health. That's why I can't wait to go away this year. Now I'm sort of,
Yeah.
it's
Totally
crazy.
get you. Totally
It's like,
get you. And it's so easy, and yet it's so hard for everybody.
Well, it's so hard, even in England where I am now, right? It's too cold really to do grounding. It's very hard to go on the beach or put your feet in the water when it's
I
three
get it.
degrees outside, and it's then you got the combination of, like I
I
said
get it.
today, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
But also, do you know what I've been having lately? Clove tea, very
brilliant.
nice,
Globe's
very
fantastic. Globe is
yeah.
fantastic.
Just pan of clean water, boil it for simmer it for like 10
Fantastic.
minutes. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
really good. Do you
it's
know,
great stuff.
I started drinking it right just above
Mm,
my kidney, my back.
yeah.
Started drinking it. Maybe after a few cups of it, I
Hmm.
swear I felt something move
Yeah,
in my
exactly.
kidney. I swear I did.
Yeah. No, no, totally.
I did.
100%. That's what
Mm.
it definitely helps with. It's a
Mm.
detox for sure.
But I think just a disclaimer: don't drink too much of it though, because it can give you liver damage if you drink way too much of it. So just careful. But
It's
I
like
swear,
anything. It's like anything. Don't take. People think, oh, I need more of it. Don't do that. That's the biggest mistake. With my teas that I used to sell, people used to go crazy with it, and like, you've got the rest of your life. Just drink one cup, relax. Don't just like, people go to extremes and think, oh, I need more in. No, you don't need more in. You don't, because I'll feel better. No, you won't. It's nothing to do with that. Just relax, nice and steady. Just see it as it's just going through all your body once a day in the morning or at night. Just take it easy. But people, they can't help themselves. They want instant fix. They want instant healing, and it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't.
no, totally. We've got about 10 minutes left, and we'll wrap up if that's okay with you.
No
Um,
worries. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's like what you say about my life in England. I can see. I worked for 5 weeks before Christmas. I'd have to be on site 7 a.m. It's an hour drive away, 50 mile. Getting up at half 4, 5 a.m. every day, getting home at
Wow.
half 6, and you try. I eat well, so I cook myself, and you're eating dinner, and you nearly have to go to bed straight away to get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
Slow
have
life.
time. You don't have time to do any grounding, any breath work, and
No,
you're just
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
slave job.
totally what I'm saying. That's why it's difficult for most people. It's very hard. I get it. You
Yeah,
can't expect people to, it's a sacrifice that you either want to do, but if you've got kids and you've got a busy lifestyle and it's difficult, I get it. It really is.
yeah. So it's my oh, do you know what it is? I think my mic just switched. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is, and I think well, you said to me a year ago, so you've outgrown the UK, and I think I just had enough of it now. I'm not. It makes you more like just not don't enjoy things over here. The weather's the big thing, but I live in. You go to places like I look at the satellite weather a lot, and see when you look over Israel, that area, their weather is always beautiful, low wind all the time, never any cloud. It's quite amazing. I've just started recently looking at it, and it's just crazy
Wow.
how they never have a storm. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, anyway, should we wrap it up there, actually? Or do you want to keep going?
Sure. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
lovely. It's
Yeah.
been nice catching up again with you,
Yeah.
Rob.
Definitely.
Thanks very much for inviting me on, and wish you a lovely year through the madness.
Yeah.
Just a bit of advice for anybody watching: just stay focused on yourself. It's not selfish to stay focused on yourself, and do as much as you can to look after your body this year. Really focus on health and well-being this year. That would be my ultimate message this year. Look after yourself. Look after your body and be careful what you put in your mouth. And if you can't put it in your mouth, don't rub it on your body.
That's good saying. Don't consume too much news either. Like you can look at it. I look at everything what's going on, but I don't get absorbed in it. You can look at something and just go back to your now moment and breathe. So
Yeah,
yeah. Right,
sure.
thanks a lot for coming on, Mark. That's been brilliant. Thank you very much.
Always lovely
Cool.
to be here. Cheers, buddy.
Cool. Thanks, Mark. Bye bye.